everyone, this is Lauren from My Counselor here at Plexus, and today's video is cultivating a growth mindset. So we want to break this down between fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. And we all want to strive to have a growth mindset. Some of us might have a fixed mindset right now, which is okay, but it is very limiting, and I'll tell you why. Students with a fixed mindset believe that their own intelligence and talent are innate traits, meaning natural or born with, that don't change. For example, they might say, I just can't learn math. These students typically worry about looking smart, they get upset by mistakes, and give up sooner on tough tasks. So in this example, if you have a fixed mindset and you're not doing well in math, then something that you might say is that, math isn't for me, I'll never be good at math. And so it's this fixed idea that, you can't get better or you can't improve. Students with a growth mindset believe that ability can change as a result of effort, perseverance, and practice. They frequently say, math is hard, but if I keep trying, I can get better at it. Students with a growth mindset see mistakes as a way to learn, embrace challenges, and persist in the face of setbacks. So students with a growth mindset, they are accepting of adversity, and they know that adversity is part of the process of learning, but also something that we are going to talk about when it comes to having a growth mindset, that it's not just about hard work or just consistently doing the same thing, but to actually have a growth mindset, and for us to continue having a growth mindset takes more than just effort over and over again, especially the same effort over and over again. So let's look at the picture on the left, and it says never lose hope. And a lot of the time we might think about our goals that we want to achieve, and we expect it to be like the top, our plan, right? It's like we're riding a bicycle, we want to reach the finish line, and there may be an incline, so a little bit of difficulty, but otherwise it's a straightforward path to what we want to achieve. What we need to understand is that it's actually the bottom picture is what is really likely to happen. And so if you look at that image, right, we see, ups and downs, checkpoints along the way. There may be people or experiences that we may not expect and have to overcome. There might be times when we feel up. And then also, even with that cloud, as you're going to reach your goal, you might face a dark cloud, so to speak. So growth mindset matters because it can contribute to better grades in school. All right, let's look at the picture on the left, and it says never lose hope. So with a lot of our goals, we have this expectation that our plan looks like the picture on the top. And so it's like riding a bicycle, and we want to reach the finish line. There may be a little bit of an incline or a little bit of difficulty, but otherwise we kind of expect this straightforward path to finishing and accomplishing our goal. In reality, though, we do need to understand that it's more likely that it's going to be like the bottom image. And so when you look at the image at the bottom, then we see a lot of ups, a lot of downs. There may be some events along the way that are unexpected, people that might come across our path to our goal, and even towards the end of our goal, and when we really do see the finish line, there still may be some, dark clouds still approaching. So why does having a growth mindset matter? Well, it matters because it can contribute to better grades in school when you have this mindset, but also outside of school. When you have a growth mindset, you have an overall willingness to take on new challenges. Having a growth mindset matters because it can contribute to better grades in school, and also outside of school, just an overall willingness to take on new challenges. Instead of dismissing or resenting challenges, when challenges come our way, it's more of an accepted experience, and it's not so stressful when it actually happens. With a fixed mindset, school can be a threatening place. When things aren't clicking for us in school, then we're worried about proving our ability or looking dumb. And so students with a fixed mindset might not be willing to go to school, and they don't look forward to going to school. And so think about that now. Are you that student? But know that that can change. You don't have to stay in this mindset. And that's the first step to having a growth mindset, is acknowledging which mindset that you have, especially if it's fixed, and knowing that that can change. With a growth mindset, school is an exciting place to learn. There, if you're not getting it, you're still embracing the process, because rather than getting it right away, instead you are enjoying that you're learning and that you'll eventually get it. So let's break this down even further and compare the two, fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And so when we think about effort, having a fixed mindset means that effort is bad. If you're smart, you shouldn't have to work hard. People who are smart, they just get it right away. They didn't even try. Whereas a growth mindset, you see effort as good. It's how you get better. Understanding something or knowing how to do something actually does take effort, and that's not a bad thing. If you have a fixed mindset, then you may lack motivation in school, because what matters to you is looking smart. And you're constantly trying to prove your ability if you feel like you're not smart enough. Whereas a growth mindset, what matters to you is learning. And so you're not afraid to make mistakes in front of other people, in front of your classmates or your teacher. But instead, you're willing to show that because you're also willing to improve that ability. So if something sets you back, let's say you don't get a good grade on the test, or you're working on an assignment and you have to pause because you no longer know how to do the next step, right? If you have a fixed mindset, then you might feel helplessness, and it may signal to you that you don't have what it takes. And you might say things like, I'm never going to be good at this. I'm not meant to do this. There's something else for me, but this isn't it. Whereas if you have a growth mindset, instead you show resilience. And so resilience is the ability to bounce back. So if things aren't going your way, you're still willing to tough it out and show that you can do it. It's a signal instead that you're going to work harder, or you're going to try a new strategy, or even asking for help, right? Sometimes we can't do it alone, and having a growth mindset means that you're willing to ask other people who do get it to help you out. And if you fail, right, a fixed mindset means that this is the time to give up. There's no going back, and this is the end. Whereas having a growth mindset, if you fail, right, this is more like a beginning. And so it's all about your perspective. Instead, you want to try again, and you know that it's not over. So here is just another image that describes fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And so I'm just going to give you a couple minutes to pause and just read through this graphic. And then maybe think about, maybe you have more of a growth mindset, but there's still aspects about yourself where you do have a fixed mindset. And so take some time to reflect and see where you fall based on these descriptions, and think about, how you can change what is a fixed mindset for you to a growth one. So hopefully you paused on that last slide and then took the time to look at all of the descriptions. But something that you might be wondering is, what can you do to actually show that you have a growth mindset, or that you're working towards a growth mindset? So one action that you can take is to have an open mind. If you're not open to acknowledging that a growth mindset exists, or that you're not going to try and acknowledge that you are in a fixed mindset, then that already indicates that you're stuck in that place and that you won't be able to grow or evolve to demonstrate having a growth mindset. Something else that you can do is to try new strategies. And so, for example, if you are in math and you're not getting it, then maybe something that you're doing is that you're trying to read the book on your own, and that's not working. So something new that you can do is maybe set a time with your teacher to talk about, where you're struggling, and they can help you there. Or, go to tutoring after school, or ask a friend who is doing well in the subject. But nothing is going to change unless you try something new. With that said, right, ask for help and accept help. And so when we talk about effort and when we talk about hard work, that doesn't mean that you're doing it alone. And so sometimes in order for us to get it, or for us to learn and start understanding more, then that means asking for help. And sometimes that's really difficult for us, but once we ask for help and it works out for us, then it becomes easier to ask for help in general. And in that time, ask questions and also be patient with yourself. Especially if people are helping you out, then they are being patient with you, but it also starts with you. And so just know that if you set a time in your mind that you're going to get it by a certain date and you don't, then that's okay. Sometimes you just need more time. And then lastly is to develop new habits. And so know what's working for you and what's not working for you. You may have to stop doing certain things, or limit your time doing certain things, or even with the people that you interact with, right? What is making you, besides yourself, there are still other factors that may be limiting you to a fixed mindset. All right. So let's end with a couple takeaways. Remember that your brain is a muscle. And so just like working out, when you first start, it's going to be difficult, you're going to get tired, and so your brain not be used to the new things that you're trying to adapt. But the more you keep doing it, then the more that it will become achievable to have a growth mindset. So keep in mind that having a growth mindset is a journey and it's not a destination, right? Once you get something, right, you're still going to face challenges along the way in other aspects of your life. And so you want to apply what you've learned in having a growth mindset to those challenges as well. And everyone isn't just smart, right? Everyone has to work at having a growth mindset. People at one point are not good at certain things and good at other things. And so there's always going to be challenges that people face. And just because you face one challenge doesn't mean that another person isn't facing another one. And lastly, it's not always the people who start out the smartest who end up the smartest. But what that really means is that, we're all in different places. And so the place that you're at right now, just know that when you have a growth mindset, it's all about understanding that you're going to be in a different place and a better place later on. All right, before we end today's video, if you haven't already, then please download the Plexus app, and that way you can get instant notifications, especially from my counselor. Also, rate and review us and let us know how you like this video, but also your experience on Plexus. We really appreciate your feedback, and we accept positive feedback or constructive feedback. And then lastly, you always have the opportunity to chat with my counselor on Plexus. You can bring up this video that you have just watched, and if you have any questions about it, we're happy to answer. But also feel free to reach out to my counselor about your specific journey to higher ed or college. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you found it helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.